And Kenya Premier League Club's chairman, Ambrose Racher, has insisted that the Kenya Premier League Limited followed the right procedure while negotiating the Sport Pesa sponsorship deal following the expiry of the Tusker sponsorship. His sentiments come after Football Kenya Federation termed the deal null and void, saying they should have been involved in the agreement where Sport Pesa were awarded the league naming rights for the next 4.5 years.
I've received a formal letter of complaint from the president of the federation alleging that the contract that we made between ourselves and Sports Pesa sponsoring the league is null and void. And the truth is that we do not agree with that allegation. First, as we are aware, we had a sponsorship agreement, a title sponsorship agreement with Tusker, which ended at the end of June. It was important for us and really necessary that we get another title sponsor. And as luck would have it, we have been able to procure a contract between ourselves and Sport Pesa, which in fact is paying us more than Tusker.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to tonight's edition of KTN Sports. My name is Lynn Washira, and we kick off the bulletin in matters volleyball, where the national women's volleyball team is promising better results in this year's World Cup that is scheduled to be held in Japan later this month. With the All-African Games also fast approaching, the junior side will be on course to represent the country in the African showpiece. Malkia strikers depart the country on Thursday.
The Malkia Strikers has been the best volleyball team in Africa this year. The team convincingly won the African title in Nairobi, edging out fierce rivals Algeria to book a World Cup slot. Having failed to impress in the previous World Cup appearances, this year the team believes they have what it takes to compete among the best in the world, especially after gaining promotion to the Grand Prix Group 2.
Before this time, I think we have been participating in the World Cup merely as participants, but I think this time around we are going there as competitors. And no one is taking us lightly. We are confident enough that we are going to pull very good results. And if the dogs sleep, then we are going to pass them.
And we remain confident that our team will compete credibly and surpass the performance that we have previously recorded.
With the senior team taking part in the World Cup and the All-Africa Games happening soon after, the junior team will be representing Kenya at the All-Africa Games that will take place in Congo-Brazzaville.
But the B, I'm promising that B is equally as good as A. And when we go there, please, I promise that if we don't get the gold, silver or bronze will be.
Equally confident and hopeful that Team B will be able to get the podium.
Malkia Strikers will depart the country on Thursday morning for 1 week training in Japan before the games commence. The commission has also organized a fundraiser for the team on the same day.
Well, as you know, every Monday we have our segment, The Next Frontier. Rearing goats for goat meat has been a predominant source of livelihood for many livestock farmers in Kenya, especially those in rural areas. But there are few farmers who have discovered the secret behind rearing goats purely for their milk. On this week's edition of The Next Frontier, Philip Kitani speaks with a goat dairy farmer in Ongata Rongai who has defied odds, and he's running a profitable goat dairy business on a small piece of land. Take a look.
Dairy farming is one of the oldest farming activities in Kenya, as the majority of the population consumes substantial amount of milk, with cows preferred as the main source of milk. However, this trend seems to be shifting as land sizes reduce and the cost of a dairy cow has become too expensive for small-scale farmers. Meet Charles, a new kind of dairy farmer who plies his trade in the middle of a growing urban center with almost no space for the traditional dairy farming of keeping large number of dairy cows. Instead, Charles has claimed his spot in the dairy industry as a goat dairy farmer.
Dairy goat farming is an upcoming economic activity in this country, and of late a lot of people have realized the importance of goat's milk.
Most small-scale farmers rear goats either for sentimental reasons or to provide meat for their families. They rarely consider the practice as a commercial venture.
What we did at the first time, we had like 15 goats in the village, and then we decided let's put some 2 of them just to be cushioning ourselves against the emergency. Some warm water here.
The goat dairy market has been improving over time. Today, a liter of goat milk sells for as much as 200 shillings. For Charles, this has been a major windfall.
Record keeping is very, very important in dairy keeping. So like here what I have a file here that has got all the records of the goats here.
Dairy goat farming is an important enterprise, especially for farmers with small parcels of land. Goat's milk has much more benefits compared to cow's milk.
Nowadays, a lot of people, we have the professional woman who doesn't want to breastfeed. We have other people who have issues, they cannot breastfeed. This is the best milk. It's actually the closest to humans' milk.
Other than milk, Charles has also made good business, from selling kids to budding goat farmers. He sells his stock at between 10 and 30,000 shillings, ensuring he is able to earn money from the venture.
Goat milk is very sensitive, so once you milk it, the very first thing, if you don't have refrigeration, you may have to boil it.
There are many goat breeds that are suitable for farming according to the weather and climate of Kenya. Boer, German, Alpine, Toggenburg, Saanen, Anglo-Nubian and some other breeds are suitable for commercial and profitable goat farming in the country.
In our farm, we specialize with Alpine dairy goats. Alpines are from Europe. For us, this is our goat of our choice. This is going to get to a client in the next few minutes.
Rated one of the best producers of the most nutritious milk among domestic animals, goats are kept in an enclosed place to prevent disease, ensure easy milking and collection of dung, which is used in the farm. Who say dairy farming is only meant for those with large tracts of land and hundreds of animals? Charles here has proven that dairy farming is even possible in the middle of an urban area, and he is just not a dairy farmer, he is a goat dairy farmer. Philip Keitan for the Next Frontier.
Well, indeed, some relief coming in there from the tourism sector. Moving on, the Energy Regulatory Commission has dealt power consumers a double whammy with costs expected to rise in August. The ERC has adjusted fuel costs on electricity upwards by 3 shillings and 11 cents per unit from 2 shillings and 51 cents in June, indicating increased use of diesel generators. At the same time, the Regulatory Commission has increased the forex levy to 1 shillings and 49 cents per unit, a 28-month high for the levy. The adjustment, the highest since May 2013, marks the fourth consecutive upward monthly adjustment to cover the cost of the weakening shilling. Overall, the latest adjustments by the ERC mean that consumers will be paying 1 shilling and 20 cents more per unit of electricity consumed. The share of thermal power was expected to drop further with the help of the rains that would have lifted the contribution of hydropower priced at 3 US cents compared to 19 US cents paid to thermal generators. The tariff for geothermal is 7 US cents per unit. This is set to burden consumers more, as the ERC is also expected to raise petroleum prices on Friday, incorporating the 3 shillings roads levy increment per litre, and effects of the weak shilling continue to kick in. We start off with tourism at the coast has been a pale shadow of itself over the last 2 years, as thousands of tourists kept off following sustained attacks in the area. But that is slowly fading away as tourists troop back to the coast, breathing a fresh breath of life to an industry rocked to its core. Charter flights from Europe have resumed operations to both south and north coast. KTN's Charles Kitonga has more.
Busy airports, packed hotel and a charged atmosphere is what the coastal region has been missing for the better part of 2 years, as tourists kept off the beauty-laden region for fear of terrorist attacks. But since June, when the UK lifted its travel ban, the coast has registered good traffic of international visitors, finally shedding some hope that the tourism sector will rise to its feet soon. In late July, 700 tourists flew in aboard Italian chartered airline Meridiana Fly, enabling more than 30 hotels in Malindi and Watamu to resume business. And over the weekend,
German carrier Condor flew in 134 tourists from Germany in its first of the 4 flights it will be making into Mombasa every week.
I come from Berlin, and now I stay here for 2 weeks for vacation.
Okay.
It's my 4th time here in Kenya. Yeah.
We only for travel and visit Kenya.
Okay.
Over the month of July, there has been significant increase in tourist arrivals, most of them coming to witness the wildebeest migration. Kenya is still heavily dependent on safari and sandy beaches as the main tourism products. But with tough lessons having been learnt over the last 2 years, players in the sector now want to see a more diverse sector by tapping into meetings, incentives, conferencing and exhibitions.
Kenya ilikuwa ni nchi ya kwanza Afrika kujenga a convention center in the name of KPL. 1972. Hizi nchi kama South Africa wapi walikuja ku benchmark hapa. Leo South Africa inatushinda, manake sasa inajulikana kama destination conferences. Watu wanaenda conferences South Africa, wanaenda game park Mpumalanga. Sasa wana kill more than 2 birds with one stone.
The tourism sector lost 25% of its visitors in the first 5 months of this year to 284,000 arrivals, down from 381,000 arrivals witnessed in 2014. It is expected that the sector will start recovering towards the high season of this year, there being no cases of insecurity or fresh travel advisories. Charles Gitonga, KTN News.